We're here with Eric to go over some of the work he's been doing. Great work to work on some anxiety and PTSD, and um, he's going to give you a little bit of feedback so it can help you guys out there who are struggling with uh, heavy-duty emotional stuff. And this is part of our trauma release program and our videos. This is really powerful work. So we're going to just go over a few of the steps that Eric has taken. You came to see me what about 7 weeks ago?
Yeah, probably about like 2 months ago or so.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, just a real brief background. I mentioned PTSD, anxiety. You want to just give a little more specifics of what you were doing, trying to work with it before you came and started
Um,
this work.
yeah, so I mean, really, I was just doing a lot of like medicating. I didn't really have any sort of like framework or any like type of thing to like help navigate those things. I mean, of course, you see a psychiatrist and they just give you drugs, but like, I mean, those don't even really help. So it's just, I was just at a point where I was looking for something new that like could help me. I mean, I was really pretty much anxious all the time, and that was not how I wanted to live. So yeah, came saw Andrew. Was I'll say it wasn't what I expected. Like it was a whole like I mean I've been to acupuncturists and body workers before, but it really was a lot different than what I expected. But like different in a good way. It was like a more kind of complete way of working on the body that gets to like a deeper level, and especially with the TRE or trauma release exercise. Super simple to learn, and I was really surprised by how profoundly it benefited me. Like like after a session, feel much more clear and calm. Um, just and then that calmness and clearness builds like as you do it like each day. Um,
Right.
so
So you would say you felt once you started doing that you really had something that was working and you could kind of see ongoing progress.
yeah, so like I mean after the first session, I mean there's a tangible like decrease in anxiety.
Correct.
So like I mean that's like just noticing that that worked. I mean it makes you want to continue doing it, and I've gotten a lot gotten a lot um, better. I mean I still have anxiety and things to work on, of course, but like I can live in like a manageable state throughout the day. Like I'm not constantly in worry and anxiety.
And so, how many days have you ever, since in this time period, have you gone like 1 or 2 days with no, with where it's like a three or below? Let's say, okay, when it comes, it's a three. So when it's not there, it's not there, like pretty much a one or a zero.
Yeah, pretty much, which is incredible to actually like hear out loud.
Right. So not only are you down to a steady three, you there are actually times where you would say you feel some joy or peace or grace.
Right. Yeah.
Great.
Definitely.
So I just want to make a quick note on that. The TRE is not just about, what it comes when you really truly cut into this anxiety and trauma is a
Mm-hmm.
sense of peace. That's what we're all seeking. Now you're not going to get that instantly, but again, what comes is that your 10 level anxiety can be knocked way down quickly. So also, you anything else that you are doing that you find is helpful?
I find that for me personally, doing the TRE like if I'm like anxious in an anxious state like and I start doing the TRE with the intention of getting rid of the anxiety, it doesn't work as well as if like I um just do TRE as like a practice of like um let's say you wake up in the morning and do it without like really an intention to like fix something. and it like kind of just clears up more on its own. And then like if later in the day I have anxiety, um, I can just like kind of sit down and do TRE and kind of like more sit with it. But if I'm like really like trying to like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of this right now, it doesn't work as well. But I will say it will definitely decrease the level. But I find that when you just approach it from a more
Practice,
yeah, accepting, I
right?
guess.
Like a practice in the morning.
Yeah, like a more when you take it as a practice and not so much as like an as needed remedy, it works a lot better.
Oh, that's an extremely wise insight for a young person, I must say, because I feel exactly the same. First of all, in the morning is when the subconscious is really rearing up a lot of content, and I notice that if I don't, same thing, if I forget to do it, I can curtail anxiety doing it later in the day. But if I embrace it as a spiritual practice, it can be, you can have a joyous, really liberating day.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a good note. Everybody who's doing TRE or thinking about it, look at it as a practice. It's a great thing to do first thing in the morning. And then you can do mini sessions as needed. So Eric's also been on our vibration machine. You want to describe that briefly, and how does that similar to TRE?
So a vibration machine is awesome. Like that was the first thing that you put me on when I came in here. So I was anxious and uh, got on it, and it just vibrates your body. You just stand there and it vibrates, and like I mean, it like just doing that. Like I was probably like a 7 when I came in, and like it dropped it down to like a 3 or 4, like just like 10 minutes on that thing, and like yeah, so that the vibration machine is pretty awesome, and I mean I did it today again. It just makes your body feel loose and light, and
So the TRE is trying to let things go. And if you've had a lot of history of grabbing on, when you use the vibration machine and the rapid release machine, you're actually hitting all that bound up, held on stuff. And it's easier, way easier to get it to let go when you put all this three in combination. They're all doing the same thing, intense vibration, except the TRE is the body initiating its own seeking out deep within its nature trauma roots.
mm-hmm.
These other therapies work more like, again, outside in, and help break down that grip grab in the body. So bottom line, people, is, when you have trauma, you want as many tools as possible to get at it.
Yeah,
So we have our trauma release program with additional tools. One thing Eric's also doing is the breathing mask. And when you do the full 25 minutes, do you notice a change in your state of anxiety?
yeah, I definitely do. I mean, it's like I mean, the best way to describe it for me is like the mind is like this beforehand, and then afterwards, it's like girlfriend who has some not she doesn't have like PTSD like I do, but she has like some general anxiety every now and then. But it has been it's been helping her. Like she realized that she has blockages that she didn't even know, um, and so it's been like clearing things up like for her. She just did it as like it started to do it as like an anti-anxiety thing to like get rid of anxiety, but then um as she did it more, she realized there's like a blockage here, and like the memories started coming up, and she's
Oh, wow.
so like now she's like working through that, um and like she's become just by doing it, she's become much more intuitive and in tune with herself. I mean, I've noticed the difference in her, so it's cool. It's one thing like noticing it in yourself, but then also watching another person do it. It just further affirms like how well it works.
Also, Eric's, you've been drinking the bluesy water. Just real quick, any quick impressions of what might be changing? I will make note that anybody, let's say, coming off of, if you have drug addiction, if you have a lot of emotional imbalance, toxicity in the body is enormous. It affects the nervous system, the brain, the endocrine gland system. So if you're trying to withdraw from drugs, cleaning the body up is a must, and eating good food. The bluesy water is, we have a program called Maximize Your Bluesy Water. In a sense, doing the vibration machine, the breathing, and the water is actually part of a maximized program. You can read up on it and why. So Eric is actually starting to do the pieces of the program without having discussed it in great depth. So generally, what do you notice from doing the water too?
Well, the first thing I noticed about the water is it actually significantly tasted better. So, I mean, that's just like the first impression, and then like over time, like drinking it, I think my body does feel a little bit lighter and kind of more fluid, definitely like more fluid. Do like the what's it called, the water boosters?
Oh yeah, the bluesy boost.
Yeah, so
Stronger dose.
when I do that in the morning, I definitely feel it, and it feels clear and nice little way to drink water in the morning, start the day, I guess.
Yeah, the bluesy boost, by the way, gives you a lot of like sort of floods your body with oxygen, and it accelerates detox. Just to let you know what that does. Do you notice any changes in digestion, bowel activity?
Um, yeah, I do actually. It's much more regular. Almost could like time out like exactly when I'm gonna go to the bathroom. But yeah, it's like, and it's like I I don't know. I For a while I was very like stuffed up, and now it just everything kind of flows a lot better. I have noticed a change in how that's been working. It actually does feel like more of like toxins exiting my body. Like it feels more clearing than like how it would feel when I used to go to the bathroom.
That's good. So is healthy bowel activity is a blessing, people. In fact, I have clients, real quick, I have clients who have great probiotics and great bowel health no matter what, and they are blessed. I ask how often you have a bowel movement. Oh, I go after every meal, and these people are very healthy, and they just happen to be blessed with healthy, good bacteria. And then there are those that get compromised real easily. So healthy bowel, very important. The colon also has a lot of emotional holding. So when you do TRE, you are actually releasing and letting go, not just emotionally, but actually you'll start to shit better and feel better. And then the water helps with all that.
I mean, in addition to tapering down off the psych meds, I also have a nicotine addiction, which I like has like drastically decreased, and like as I mean I'm in the process of trying to completely quit, um, but I mean it's drastically decreased, and it's also I've become much more aware of like the like I think the TRE has made me more body aware, so then I'm much more aware of like how it feels inside me. So um I so like for example, if I would smoke a cigarette, like I can feel like in here like things constricting, like almost like my arteries, like kind of around the heart, like so it's like, and I never have noticed that before. Like that's like a really like cute observation that like it's like, oh wow, like this is what this is doing to me. So just I mean just all these things is making me more conscious, body conscious about like what's going on. So I wanted to add that in.
That's excellent. Yeah, I've been talking to Eric about the how important it is for me to give clients a real foundational practice. And as a body worker, I apply the fundamentals in my work. But if the client cannot go home and have these self body work, profound self access practices, I feel like, it's kind of like, the old saying about just giving somebody fish versus teaching them to fish. So, but that being said, I just briefly did want to ask you. So let me just say this before I ask the question. When I do body work on somebody, I am trying to open up gates and pathways to the subconscious and how the body can heal itself. The person is showing me the information on where they're stuck, and actually they have within them the healing liberation potential. It's a conversation between their Buddha nature or their Christ nature and the part of them that's condemned to hell. So it's literally a self-relationship that you learn through body work. So anyhow, we did some body work. We did the acupuncture, the rapid release, the the cranial sacral, and also we did a little bit of emotion code. So just briefly, what were your feelings about that work?
Well, I mean, the body work was great. I mean, I just felt loose. Felt good. I mean, it was just loosened my whole body. Just felt good. I mean, I will say, like, with the rapid release or the electroacupuncture.
Can be intense at times.
Yeah, it definitely got intense because he was hitting points that like were stuck or painful. But then I noticed like the second time when he hit those points, it wasn't as bad. And I mean, after like hitting all those points and having him work on my body, like I felt just great afterwards. I mean, I was really.
Right, those points, by the way, it's funny because the amperage on the electroacupuncture is in millions of an amp. I always tell people, it's your resistance that's I'm just awakening the resistance. So then when it lets go, guess what happens? You don't feel anything the next time, or it's way reduced.
Right.
So what about the emotion code?
So the emotion code I found that really profound. That's probably, I mean, like besides the TRE, I found like that was like one of the most profound like insights into like my subconscious. It like really gave like a pinpointed like where certain memories or traumas came from, and then like helped to clear them away.
Well, Eric, I really appreciate you giving this feedback. Like I said, our trauma release program has different pieces. The TRE is easy to learn. If you want to contact me, we can teach you over the phone. We just need a camera pointed at the floor. And so those of you suffering with anxiety, trauma, health issues, this is a foundational practice. It helps on so many levels. And we have all our videos going through different type of therapies to help you. So, Eric, thank you for giving your feedback. I can really testify, when Eric, first of all, thank God for the work kicking in, and thank God that he found, contacted me because he was looking. I know so many of you out there are suffering and have tried so many things. So please take a look at this work. And thank you, Eric, for sharing your experience directly. And I just appreciate all the work you're doing. It's amazing. It's great to just witness it. Yeah. And
well, thank you.
All right, appreciate it. And anybody again out there, wants to inquire, we have the videos. You can contact me, and we can get you going on a life-changing course. All right, thank you so much.